Good morning, students. As you all know that we are discussing about friction nowadays, so let us proceed further. In the previous videos, we have covered the definition of friction, the characteristics of friction, the factors affecting friction, and now today we will be discussing about fluid friction. Let me take you to my slides. So today's topic is fluid friction. So the very first question arises here, does the friction exist only in the solid surfaces? I hope you all know the answer that it's not necessarily. So fluid friction, exactly what fluid friction is. Friction is exerted by fluids like air and water as well. And the friction exerted by fluids is referred to as fluid friction. Here, I would like to tell you that air and water are known as fluids, and the friction exerted by fluids is referred to as fluid friction. The friction which is exerted by solids, as you can see here, the friction between the tires and the road, these are solids. This kind of friction is known as dry friction. Water and air are called fluids because they flow. Whatever flows is called fluid. One major characteristic of fluids is that they have no definite shape and can be easily transformed. So just like solids, fluids too can exert friction when objects move through them. Do you feel air offers resistance? Here you can see from this video, a person is freely falling, diving, skydiving, and you can see the resistance on its face and the clothes. The air is offering resistance. Yes, air offers resistance when any body or an object is dropped from a height. The resistance is offered by air. This is another example. You must have experienced this also in a very windy day that your umbrellas mostly got inverted like this. This is also just because of the air resistance. And meteor shower is also an example. Whenever the meteors enter into the atmosphere of Earth, due to air drag, due to the resistance offered by the air, these meteors burn into ashes. So here another question is, what about water? Does it also offer resistance? Yes. When the fish swim, they encounter fluid resistance from the water. Now fluid friction. As we have already known that the friction exerted by solid is known as dry friction, the frictional force exerted by fluids is called drag. It is known as drag, fluid friction or drag. Now, what does fluid friction depend upon? What are the three factors upon which the fluid friction depend upon? The very first is nature of the fluid. The second is speed of the moving object. And the third is, which is very important, shape of the object. What does fluid friction depend upon? The very first thing is nature of the fluid. An object moves faster in air than in water. We all know about this thing. Because more is the thickness of the fluid, greater will be the fluid friction. And here I would like to introduce you to the term viscosity, because thickness of the fluid or the fluid's resistance to flow, that is known as viscosity. Viscosity is a term which is referred to as fluid's resistance to flow. Water is more viscous than air and honey is more viscous than water. So here I would like to add that more is the thickness of the fluid, greater will be the fluid friction. What does fluid friction depend upon? Then another point is speed with which the object is traveling. We have learned about the first thing, nature of the fluid, and the second thing is speed with which the object is traveling. Higher the speed of the object moving through the fluid, greater will be the frictional force acting on it. Here is an example. A vehicle traveling with 100 miles per hour of speed will face more drag of air than the same vehicle moving with 50 miles per hour speed. So the drag also depends upon the speed by which the object is traveling. Then another third thing is the shape of the object, which is really important, and we must understand this factor easily. So very first thing, the very first question arises here: why the shape of the fish is, why the fish is evolved in this shape, and why an aeroplane is not a rectangular box flying in the air? The reason is they are given the streamlined shape to minimize the fluid friction. They are in this shape. They are narrow at the front. They are narrower at the front just to give them streamlined shape, because streamlined shape minimizes the fluid friction. Streamlining the object can greatly reduce the fluid friction or drag. Here is the example of car, and bus faces more drag because it is not a streamlined shape. There are certain more examples. Boats and ships have streamlined bodies. This streamlined shape helps them to move easily in the water. Automobiles are also narrower from the front because this shape reduces the drag of air. Similarly, aeroplanes and helicopters, rockets and missiles, they all have streamlined bodies because this kind of shape helps them to cut through the air. Another example is that there is a very good question, that why the swimmers stretch their hands above their head in a pyramid shape while diving into the water. The answer is this shape, because this shape is also streamlined shape. This offers least friction to the divers, and so he can easily go deep into the water. This, everyone whosoever does the swimming, he or she must have experienced this thing. So this was all about the factors on which the fluid friction depends. We have covered fluid friction as well as the factors on which it depends. So in the next video, we will be covering advantages and disadvantages of friction. So we'll meet again. Till then, have a nice day.